Manchester United boss Erik ten Hag will leave no stone unturned in his pursuit of Rasmus Højlund. Long video calls are what he was trapped in with Atalanta last night. I've got an update on the status of Donny van de Beek and who could be a potential buyer. We also know that Fred is advanced. He's about to leave Manchester United. Welcome to the Hotspot. It's a Saturday afternoon edition and big updates. Let me tell you, this time around it will be an hour per hour update as we track down to the tail end of this deal of Rasmus Højlund. The way we track down Andre Onana and Mason Mount, I will tell you, we're not sleeping on Rasmus Højlund. Now, on a Saturday like this one, back from a long day training with my son at his academy. It was a good day. The parents playing against the kids. This was fun. But guys, let's get proper into Manchester United talk now. Again, the reports that the latest that has just come through from Fabrizio Romano is that Manchester United last night spent a whole long 4 hours plus trapped in negotiations with Atalanta. And where we are now is United seem to be approaching the final end of this Rasmus Højlund contract, because United apparently, according to what we just get, is are willing to step up their bid. That was 50 million plus 10 million in add-ons. They are willing to step it up to 60 million. United are willing to pay 60 million euros for Rasmus Højlund. Remember, Atalanta's initial valuation of the player was about 70 million euros. Now United, who had their initial bid of 50 million plus 10 million euros in add-ons rebuffed by Atalanta, are saying they are willing to step it up after those long conversations. So of course the conversations are still ongoing, and it is said that Erik ten Hag himself was involved in video calls with Atalanta in trying to push the move through. Remember, Erik ten Hag is the kind of manager who won't leave the work of signing players to just the man in charge, the football director John Mata or the CEO Richard Arnold. He wants to take things in his own hands and try to convince players to come and believe in his project and work for him. So he says he picked up the phone himself and made that long call to Atalanta, trying to negotiate a deal for a player who has already agreed in principle to join Manchester United in a deal of 5 years plus an option of a further 1 year. But I will tell you, this deal will be done very soon. By Tuesday latest, I believe, where Rasmus Højlund will be a Manchester United player. We know that Borussia Dortmund is supposed to be playing against Atalanta is supposed to be playing a friendly game against should be Bournemouth, but the young man Rasmus Højlund is not going to be playing in this one because they don't want to risk him as he's forcing a move through, because he has even spoken to the club and told them he wants to join Manchester United. They are taking bids, they are listening to bids from PSG and so all, but the player has been clear: I want Manchester United. So there is big updates concerning his progress, and trust me, more of those will be coming, and very soon it will be a done deal crossing over to United. The striking problem is one that Erik ten Hag is determined to solve at whichever cost. That's why he will even pick up the phone and go on that video call and lead negotiations with Atalanta for a player he wants so badly and Manchester United need so badly. Now, speaking of players, guys, we are in that sell to buy situation, and guess what? There is more clubs that are being linked with our players. Now, Fred is in advanced stages of joining Galatasaray. Yes, Galatasaray looks to be the lucky club that will be taking the services of Fred, and we will be getting exactly how much Galatasaray are willing to pay, but it is believed to be in the region of 20 million pounds or thereabout that United will be getting for that man Fred, who is among those wanted out of the club. Speaking of want outs as well, even Real Sociedad are serious. Yes, they are serious. They do want to sign Donny van de Beek and price him out of his misery at Manchester United, and it looks like a deal is likely because the player seems to be interested in playing in Spain, and Real Sociedad certainly will be a good club for him to try and recover his fitness. That is Donny van de Beek, who has been sidelined for the most part because of injuries at Manchester United. Now, speaking of injuries and Manchester United, we've got an update on the ankle injury for the youngster Kobbie Mainoo. And it's a sad one, but it is what it is. He's a man. He's got to man up and know that this is part of the business he's in now. Kobe Maino apparently will be out for some time. He won't be returning by the time we start the league. He's going to be out for at least the first half of the 2023-2024 season. That is what we got. That's the doctor's report. He's got to be. Remember, he's a young player. He needs time to recover, and they're not going to rush him at all because, well, whereas he was not he was not there yet in terms of proving himself to Erik ten Hag. At least he had thrown in a ring, and Erik ten Hag has said he will give him the chance again to prove himself when he's back to fitness. Unfortunate situation, of course, for a young player who can play for Ghana. By the way, he's eligible to play for Ghana, but Kobe Maino, for now, is not eligible to play for anyone, according to the doctors, because he's injured in his ankle after that game against Real Madrid, where he came on for barely 3 minutes, only to be involved in a hard knock, and there you go. He was limping off the pitch. So Kobe Maino's situation is not good. Of course, the whole world of football has come out, and I think they have been clear and honest. They have said, little boy, we feel for you, but we do hope your future is bright. And when you return to full fitness, the opportunities will be waiting for you. The pity is he's only 18. So guys, let's not worry a lot about Kobe Maino. Now, speaking of Maino, a holding midfielder, Manchester United, remember, are still pursuing Sofian Amrabat, and it seems the deal is more advanced than we might know. I've told you here several times before how, again, the player already agreed to join Manchester United. Now, of course, the two clubs, that's United and Fiorentina, have also been trying to go into talks and negotiations to see how exactly this will go. Of course, Manchester United have been more focused on Rasmus Højlund because it's probably the harder player to buy. But with the progress being made after those long video calls with Erik ten Hag and the team, it is believed that even Sofian Amrabat is going to be reactivated and reawakened, and his interest will be stepped up as Manchester United do proceed to now make a double swoop. Yes, a double swoop is what you are expecting to see very soon. So this coming week, I'll tell you, don't be shocked if two players are unveiled, because remember, United does want to have at least a week or two with most of these new signings. Of course, Andre Onana and Mason Mount are already in. We need Rasmus Højlund and Sofian Amrabat, and of course, it will be a good to go for Erik ten Hag, who believes there is not so much work needed for United. Of course, there is quite a fair way to go, but he says, judging by how we performed in the recent friendlies we played with Arsenal and Real Madrid, he doesn't think there is a lot of work to do. A few areas need to be improved, and he's certain they will get them and improve them. Manchester United. Now, guys, I told you, I dropped a video about Harry Maguire and how Manchester United turned down £20 million from West Ham United, and of course many people, and I was thinking, why would Manchester United turn down that money? And people are telling me Maguire, some people are saying he's worth 50 million, some are saying, this is on TikTok, people are saying he's worth 50 million, some are saying 40, and they are saying United was right. Guys, listen, right now, whereas Manchester United needs money and we are in a sell to buy situation, I think beyond the money, we need money from the right players. What Manchester United now needs, even more than the cash itself, is a way to get rid of Harry Maguire. And for me, if you're getting rid of him, at whichever cost, by the way, if you're getting rid of him, the guy is 30, and his best is way behind him. He's out of form. He's certain. They've talk about how he's performing for England. I would perform for England. I would perform for England. I mean, it's very, for me, his performances for England are nothing to talk about. It is your performance for the club that he shouldn't even be playing for England in the first place, because he's not active at his club. He's not playing games. But anyhow, Gary Southgate seems to have him a lot in his plans. But that said, I will tell you, for me, 20 million would have been a huge bargain for Manchester United from any club. So for me, I don't believe guys who are saying that Harry Maguire is worth 50 million and all. I don't believe that. I don't think Harry Maguire is worth that amount of money. I think 20 million is good enough for him. If we are lucky, West Ham adds the 30 million we want, I'm not sure we will get. But the reality is, United have got to move fast. We need money, and if someone's giving you 20M for Harry Maguire, you want to take it, guys. You want to take it. Of course, I've had some guys with the soft hearts beginning to feel for the guy. Well, for me, Harry Maguire, going to West Ham would be the best way to revive his career. But also, I mean, I think he has lost in confidence. I mean, you've been stripped of your captaincy. I think even with his fellow teammates, they won't listen to him. What will you tell them? He won't fit in. I think for me, it's not right. It's not right. But that said, he looked a little decent in that game, the last game we played against Real Madrid when he came on. You felt he was a little decent without the captain's armband. Probably he has tried to improve a bit, but again, when the Old Trafford is open against Wolves on the 14th of August, you don't think the fans will be patient with him. One single mistake, they will go for his head. So for me, the best thing for him to go and try to play football again is away from Manchester United, and West Ham United for me is a brilliant option for him. So that's where we are, guys. I've sum it up like that. So for me, Maguire should be out for 20, for 15, for whichever cost. I don't care. Maguire out, I think, is the best way for him, and most importantly for Manchester United. Now, guys, that's it. Rasmus, Højlund, to wrap it up for you. United are advanced. More talks going on. They were trapped in negotiations from last night on Friday. Erik ten Hag making video calls to try and sign the player. United are willing to step it up to 60 million euros as the ground payment they do make for the player. That's how serious Erik ten Hag is, and when he's serious about someone, he's proper serious. Well, he's impressed with how Mason Mount has fitted into this team, and obviously he hopes that it only gets better. But also, guys, this is intention to save the best for last. Mason Greenwood could be back. Subscribe to the hotspot. I will tell you more about that in probably my next video. Don't you move a muscle. This is the hotspot. My name is Webb, and this is where we get to ban you with all the news concerning Manchester United. And on a Saturday like this one, I tell you, go out, enjoy, but do it responsibly. We need you.